Now, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the complete roadmap to kickstart and accelerate your health coaching practice. So you are definitely going to want to grab a pen and we're going to dive right into this. Now, in the first 3 videos, if you haven't seen that, definitely go back and look at that because we covered initially why marketing broadly is not it, and don't get lost in trying to create websites and email lists. That's not it. We talked about why the purpose-driven expert niche, this concept that I introduced to you at that first video, why that is critical and core. We then went into how do you create that by aligning your expert niche, that expertise area zone of genius with your soul satisfying purpose. And the intersection of those 2 points is your purpose-driven expert niche. And in the last video, I shared with you my secret story gold mining strategy, which is perfect for chiseling off all of those big excess pieces of your purpose-driven expert niche that really dives right down into the core of the gold that is within you. That is it. That is how you attract a stream of ideal clients that are lining up, begging to work with you, that lead to a successful, soul-satisfying, and yes, 6-figure health coaching practice. So with that, grab a pen. We're going to dive into, I'm going to outline the process for you. All right, so let's dive into the roadmap to accelerate your health coaching practice. Now, this is the purpose-driven expert niche or PDAN process that I'm going to walk you through the phases of in detail. So the first phase is to really look within. Remember, it's not out there in other certifications or out there, it's inside you, and determine those 2 points, your purpose and your area of expertise. So starting with awakening to your soul's purpose, you want to explore what is it that you really want? And sometimes we've forbidden ourselves to want what we really want. In my books, I share about, not really getting at that point. I didn't know what I wanted other than in my life, other than not this. And it wasn't until a beeper went off in a meditation after Deepak Chopra had instructed this small group of us to really explore what did we want. And when some random stranger's beeper pager went off that was the exact same ringtone as my hospital pager, I knew exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to ever be on call ever again. And so and there was more to that story than that. But sometimes we've forbidden ourselves to want something because we don't think it's possible. So it's really important as you chisel this out, just don't put any limits or boundaries on it. Just because you can't do it, anything is possible. But so you have to focus on what you want and remove the cursed hows, as they say. Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Just first off, focus on what do you want? And then who is it that you want to and are meant to serve? To the extent that you know that, you start to chisel that out. That's where we're going to go and begin to notice what lights you up, what excites you, what fuels your passion. And then in the second video in this series, we shared how important it is to look in here, not out there. But there's a lot more to it. You have to tune in to those areas that excite you and avoid teaching people things that you might be currently struggling with, not yet in your zone of genius. That's a common pitfall for people. And then coaches themselves are often focusing their attention on like current issues that they themselves are struggling at, because that's what they're spending a lot of time on. And they sometimes will want to help others. That's a bad idea. That's blind leading the blind. So we don't want that. We want those things will exhaust and drain your energy and trigger you. We want to fine tune to those areas that excite you, where your joy, passion, enthusiasm lie, and allow you to excel and accelerate your soul satisfying practice. So we're really going to tap into how you're feeling as you explore some of these things. This is a critical piece of the plan of why this works. You want to work towards being the world's leading expert in your PDAN, in your purpose-driven expert niche. So give yourself a kickstart by starting with things you're already good at, not things that you're really floundering and struggling at. You can't really be of service, but there are things that you really are good at. Everyone has been, everybody has a niche. So then once you know your soul's purpose and your unique zone of genius, your specific area of expertise, you want to find the intersection between those 2 points as the baseline of your secret sauce for your attractive PDAN. So in this first phase, you have the basis of your PDAN. But up to this point, it has been all about you. Now, let's make it all about them. So in the next phase, you want to create your ideal client avatar profile. So we look at your niche. Who is that ideal client that your PDAN serves? You want to chisel it out, create that avatar. You want to make this one specific, albeit often fictional character profile. So they have a specific age, like 42, not 30 to 50, and they're either married or they're not. They either have kids or they don't. And about 85% of the time, I would say for my clients, their ideal client avatar is a former version of themselves because they solve that illness or that problem for themselves. The other 15% of the time, their client avatar is adapted from someone else they've helped, either a family member or a friend, or it's maybe a former line of work that they've become expert at. So one of my clients helps with lymphatic massage and drainage. So she is expert at that from her day job and from other clients that she worked with in a different vehicle as a massage therapist. So it can be that. One of my clients helped her mom get off rheumatoid arthritis meds. So it was helping a family member. So, but I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to be super specific. It is one person. You want to create all of this and fall in love with that one ideal client. You want to know so much about them. Now, here's the thing that makes it a little easier for you. You can help whoever you want, whether they're married or not, they're men or women or old or young or have your problem niche or not. You can help whoever you want, but you want to focus for the purposes of attracting clients on something super specific. Then when you think of your one ideal client, you next want to define what their one specific problem that you will solve is and the one solution you'll deliver. So this is where it's super important to have a real problem. So that delivers a real solution. So we want to get real. So if you're not clear on what you do, how do you expect your client to know what you do? What I've observed is people don't hire you just to chit chat. So a lot of times people will create programs where they charge per month or per session. That's not helpful. What helps people get super successful is if they solve problems. So if push comes to shove and people only have a finite resources, and that will be one of the excuses they give you, they only have so much money to go around, they have to prioritize it. And chit-chatting with you is probably not going to be it. But if you can solve their specific problem, get them out of pain that they don't know any other way out of, help them eat with ease because they can't even eat anymore, help deal with their digestive issues, help deal with their relationship issues, help deal with weight that they've never been able to lose, and now that it's affecting their livelihood, their energy, their relationships. For some people, that's a priority. So we want to be very, very specific and make it a real problem that people are actually looking to solve. This is key. So if you confuse them, you lose them. So if you're like, hey, I can help you with your weight loss, I can help you with your menopause, I can help you with getting out of pain, maybe I can help you clean out your pantry, maybe I can help sweep the floor, maybe I can help you with this, maybe I can babysit your kids. That's not it. That's not it. So they will want you just to go away and leave them alone. But when you're super specific and they know that you are the world's leading expert in solving this problem, they will come from miles around. They absolutely will. My clients have been on TV and radio and in newspaper and in national magazines, international magazines. And in those cases, those media outlets came to my clients. But my clients weren't begging them. They came to my clients. Why? Because they were now starting to be seen as an expert in that tiny area of niche. And people want to hear from experts. They don't want to hear from their neighbor giving some tips on weight loss, but an expert in it who has a track record, who's always working to be getting better at it, and who it's their soul satisfying mission. That's where people want to hear from. So people are busier than ever. You want to have a niche that solves a specific real problem that is priority, an absolute priority for your ideal client avatar. Then we have your ideal client profile. You're crystal clear on them. You know your ideal client avatar. All right. So now once you're crystal clear on your PDEN and your ideal client avatar, then the third and final phase in this here is to create your attractive messaging that attracts your ideal client. It is not enough to have a niche and know who your ideal client is, because if they're not attracted to you, they won't find you, and then you can't help them and you're out of business. So you want to create attractive messaging. So here's where we're going to go into this in your PDEN, in your perfect driven expert niche, for your ideal client avatar. And most importantly, you want to avoid the all too prevalent client repellent coach speak. So if we want to help people love themselves and feel more connected, which by the way is actually the right answer, but if we try to attract clients with that messaging and they have to choose between hiring you to teach them how to love themselves or taking a trip or buying a car, they're not hiring you. So on the other hand, if you say that you help them get out of horrible pain because that's what you do and they have horrible pain, or you help them lose weight and that is what you say that you do, then they'll hire you instead of taking the trip or getting the new car, because that becomes their priority. Then as you help them break free from their horrible pain or lose their toxic fat, then of course you'll also be helping them with what they really need, which is to love themselves. But that coach speak needs to be saved for when they're actually in your program, when you're giving them the real answer. Einstein said the level of the solution is different than the level of the problem. We know that they really just need to love themselves, nourish themselves in the ways that feel good, move their bodies in ways that feel good, and love themselves. But they, at the level of the problem, let's say they want to lose weight, they're like, I think I got to starve myself and exercise like crazy. And they can't hear you up here. And you're like, here, I've got this program that will help you love yourself. And they're saying, I'm not lovable. Everybody in my family has told me I'm not lovable. I'm going to go over here, and that's not even a problem I'm trying to solve. I'm just trying to solve my weight loss problem. And away they go. Or they might say, of course I'm lovable. That's why I'm going to go over here and take care of myself and lose weight. So it's really important how you say what you do. So you want to have an attractive messaging toolkit, and you want to speak to that one specific real problem and that one specific real solution. And you want to say that in one sentence, or sometimes people call it an elevator pitch. I call it a power statement. That is how you can attract your ideal clients, even without Wi-Fi. But people will often ask you, like, well, how do you help people lose weight? Or how do you help people with Crohn's? That's where you want to have a follow-up 90-second, not horrendous, but 90-second story that actually attracts them. It's not about you. Your 90-second story it's actually about them. It's only about you as it relates to them, as it can help inspire them. Unfortunately, too often coaches get excited about what they do and they just fire hose people with lots of information that actually repels them away. And that new little tentative person looking for help, and you tell them all about what you do and about hormone pathways and Krebs cycles and gut bacteria, and they're just you've blown them away, and not in a good way. You've blown them away. So when you share your story, keep it short and keep it about them. Then, once you have the basis of this attractive messaging from within, remember, now, once you've got that from within, now you can go and take it out there on social media, on websites, on blogs, on videos, on workshops, or even just friendly conversation. One of my favorite stories is my client, Cindy from California. And while we were working together, creating her program, carving out her niche, she earned $9,000 while we were working on her signature program. And what I love about her story is she's on no social media, no Facebook, no Instagram, none of that, no YouTube, no ads, no website, no blog. But she did have a purpose-driven expert niche, and she did have attractive messaging in terms of her power statement and her 90-second story, which allowed her to attract ideal clients that were so grateful and thankful and teary-eyed. I mean, one conference Zoom meeting we had, she was talking about how her client was just in tears of appreciation for all of the work that they'd done, like what an incredible difference that she had made in her life. And so as she's telling the story, then she's getting teary, then we're getting teary. It was fantastic, the difference you can make. But we have to be able to attract them first so that we can do the work that we know we're meant to do. So now Cindy's well on track to 6 figures. She's well exceeded her preceding quarterly goals and all of her benchmarks. That's the thing. It's not about the websites and the Facebook ads and the email list. It's not that. But it is about knowing your zone of genius and expertise. So the third phase is this creating of your client attractive messaging. That's important to take your message out to the world. So to summarize the 3 phases of the PDAN process, you want to first carve out your purpose-driven expert niche, your PDAN, by discovering and aligning your purpose and your expert niche. Then you want to create your ideal client avatar that is aligned with your PDAN, being super specific as to that one person with the one real problem that they have and that one real solution that you deliver. And then you're going to construct and create your attractive client attractive messaging in your purpose-driven expert niche so that you can attract those amazing clients that are literally begging to work with you. That is the complete roadmap of the PDAN process that has allowed me and others, and now you have it so that you can create your amazing, soul-satisfying, and yes, even 6-figure health coaching practice. All of this and a lot more is covered in my upcoming Health Coach Accelerator course. I'll show you in detail how to uncover your blind spots as to your zone of genius, as well as how to articulate what you do so that it attracts your ideal clients. You can literally watch over my shoulders as I walk you through all of this, and you can just follow along and implement it step by step. So stay tuned when we launch Health Coach Accelerator course. You're going to see some messaging when that finally opens because that's literally the best information I've ever released publicly like this. So join the early access waitlist if you're serious about creating a successful health coaching practice, you're wanting to accelerate it, kickstart it into gear, then definitely join that early access waitlist. All right, well, I hope you liked this video, but just wait, because my favorite video is the next video. In the next video, I'm going to share with you a case study of the very first person that I helped reach 6 figures with their health coaching practice. So I did it myself, but then when I helped Rachel, ooh, so I'm going to go through that and I'm going to share you like in live living color, how does this purpose-driven expert niche, why is that so important to create a successful, soul-satisfying practice? Because you might be thinking it's other things. You might still be thinking it's in other credentials, another, website, a funnel. You might be thinking those things. Those are parts of the puzzle later, but this, you can be successful without any of that. I'm going to share why this is powerful, why this worked when everything else she had tried had not, and how powerful it is when you align your soul's purpose with your zone of genius expert niche to create your purpose-driven expert niche. That's where the magic happens. All right. With that, I hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video. Be good for you.